It's a couple of minutes after 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night, and where else would I be but here with you? DJ Stutz with Little Hearts Academy and Imperfect Heroes podcast. And I can tell you, it's been a day. I got caught in the rain on my way out to the car after work, and I got about halfway to my car, and it's like the windows of heaven opened up and poured on me. And so I got home and I tried to clean up. And so it's been a fun day, but it has actually been a fun day with my kids and with my, hey, Caroline, I miss you. I need to talk to you. And, but I have had a great day with my kids. I love my little students so much. They mean the world to me. And I just have really enjoyed that part of my life. And so with me retiring this year and then going on to do this full-time and my parent coaching full-time, it's going to be a different thing for me. And I know I'm going to miss a lot of what I do here. So anyway, enough of that. Today, I want to talk to you about giving yourself a break, right? So in my episode, it just dropped yesterday, and it's called the No BS Mama. And I had this amazing guest. She has her own podcast called, the No BS Mama. Her name is Megan Eddinger, and she's just a great person to talk with. And her whole focus is actually on just giving yourself a break. Hey, Nephi, it's good to see you. And realizing that nobody's perfect. We all screw it up. And Caroline says, a break? What's that? I know. We beat ourselves up, don't we? Like everything that goes wrong in our kids' lives and in our family lives, it's, at least if you're like me, it's like, oh, it's all my fault, right? What did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? And if I'd have only spent more time doing this, or if I didn't miss that, thing with my kids. And there's just so many things that we just, thanks, Nephi. There's so many things that we just are so hard on ourselves over. And so in this episode, you will die because we share stories about all this, well, not all, a few of the screw ups we did when we were raising our kids. And Caroline says, girls, you know me, there is no break, but there needs to be a break. There needs to be a time when you can just say, yep, that happened. And I'll do better next time. And I'm not going to beat myself up over it. Or maybe when you can look back and just laugh at the silliness of it. And maybe it was a big deal at the time, but if you remember to say, oh, this is going to be a great story in a few years, right? And that you're going to be able to look back and see how it all turned out. So one of the things, all my kids are grown up and my grandkids are getting older as I speak. But it's so funny that when we get together, and over my spring break, we went up to Bear Lake. Most of you probably don't know where it is, but half of the lake is in Utah and the other half is in Idaho. And my oldest daughter, Candace, lives up there full time now. And so I had Candace, Rocky, and Christian and their kids all there. And so, of course, my husband and I head up to spend time with this amazing family. And it's sad but funny at the same time that they will get going on stories of all the crazy things that they did. And I had no idea, and isn't that part of when you're an adult and you look back on all those insane things that happened when you were a kid and how, you thought, oh, this was so terrible, and my mom was so hard on me, or my dad was so hard on me, or whatever. And then you become a mom or a dad, and it's like, oh yeah, I get that now, might be a little better, right? And so we learn to give maybe our parents a break a little bit. I mean, there are times I'm laughing so hard when my kids get together that I can barely breathe, but then I'm appalled at the same time, right? With some of the stuff that they pulled. And that's all part of growing up too, you know, challenging the values of your family and the values of your parents, and, you know, testing the waters a little bit and going out and being independent, and yet making a lot of stupid decisions. And so we can feel horrible about what's going on, or we can just say, yep, I did that. And now I'm just going to do better next time, right? And we talked a little bit about how sometimes, and I know I've talked about this a little bit before, and Caroline, you've chipped in on this too, how sometimes like you're yelling and you don't even know when you started yelling. It's just all of a sudden you realize, oh, I'm yelling. When did that happen? Right? And so it's all kinds of things that go on. Like maybe when you were extra tired or extra hungry or had a really bad day at work, or maybe you had to deal with a lot of behaviors with your own kids and you're just sick and tired of it, doggone it. And you love them to death, but you kind of want to get them. Hi, Crystal, how are you doing? And Derek, thank you for joining. And so we do get upset, overly upset as adults, and we know we should have handled that better, you know, but we're human. We're human. And we can constantly try to do better, but we're not ever going to reach perfection. It's not going to happen. Doesn't mean that we can't stop, or we stop trying. You know, we always want to do better. Maybe do a little better today than we did yesterday, or maybe do a little better this hour than we did last hour, right? Sometimes you just get to that point where, oh, okay, put that behind me. I'm going to move on. And if you wallow in guilt and frustration and beating yourself up because you got called by the principal at your kid's school, or you went to pick up your cutie little guy or gal at childcare or at preschool, and there's, you know, one of those little papers that said, oh, we had an incident today, right? And you're like, oh gosh, how many of these have I gotten? Or even if it's just the first, I think the first time's almost the hardest. Because the first time you get that note that, you know, Susie bit another kid. Oh no, how did that? And you feel judged, don't you? I did. And so you feel judged. You feel like someone's looking at you, maybe the teacher, and is thinking, wow, they're just not doing it right at home. Well, that's pretty much true. None of us are doing it right at home all the time. We can't be right all the time. And so we just want to do the best that we can do. And so when we start asking ourselves questions about, you know, how am I going to handle this? Is this going to help my relationship with my child, or is it going to make it worse? Is my child going to learn how to manage in society? Because that's something we really need to worry about. Well, not worry about. We need to teach, and we need to help them to understand all of those things. But am I going to teach them those things in a way that's going to help my relationship with my child? And honestly, guys, it's A-okay to sit back a minute, take a breath, and let them see you kind of, mommy needs to take a breath. I'm really upset. I need to calm down. And when I calm down, then I can talk to you. It's okay for them to see you do that. It's okay for them to see that you're really upset, and you need to go through the steps that you've given them to calm down. Because the truth is, we all act like children from time to time as adults, don't we? We all get more angry than we should. We all say mean things when we shouldn't. I'm really trying to get better at that.